I'm afraid. And the philosopher I'm doing is one of the absolute greats of British philosophy. Most of us have to feel richly humiliated at this point. He wrote this when he's 26. I always pin my hopes on Kant. He didn't write anything original before he was 45, so I've got 4 more years left. This, as I said, is one of the greats. It's by David Hume. It is his famous deconstruction of the self at the end of his book, written when he was 26, The Treatise. And what, I ask you, should we say of that thorny problem, that knotty issue, personal identity, that I have seen the most celebrated writers write on? Well, what is it? Well, straight away, 2 phenomena, both curious, come to my mind. I am minded, first of all, to run a little experiment, right here, right now, with all your minds. Suppose I say a word, a ludicrous word, it does not matter much. Rhinoceros! 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 Now, I do not know what you think, seeing a man in front of you spout the name rhinoceros, but I know what I think. It is so hard to hold these separate things apart in your mind. You run them together. You make God knows what crazy imagining to envelop them all within the single idea. And maybe then the self is just like that, an imagination. Maybe. The second idea I have is this. Suppose we have a cathedral that is built slowly, rebuilt perhaps, over 1,000 years, so not one single stone remains where it was. Nay, all the sculptures are different. So if you saw it side by side with how it was a millennia ago, you would say it was a clear different thing. But the change is so slow, brick upon brick, you do not notice it, and so you would not hesitate to say it was the same. Maybe then our self is nothing more than this. Maybe. This seems to make more sense when you remember the very fabric of our body changes over the course of the life. So there is nothing of us left that was a decade or more ago. Maybe then we are just a lazy custom. Maybe. And if that is true, how can we be sure we are the same day to day? Are we the same when we are furious or full of desire? Are you sure you are the same person as you were this morning or last month? How can you know? This personal identity of ours seems bad-founded an idea. Let us go further. I think we can, with a bit of care. First, I think we need to make one of those distinctions, the ones that philosophy is so great at making. Let us then distinguish between the idea I have of myself and the rage, the passion, the pride to be me. Now, I am not concerned here with the emotion. We'll deal with that at a later time. Let us just deal with the idea itself, that idea you have the emotion attaches to. What is this idea, then, I ask? Well, have you ever met yourself coming sauntering down the street, or caught yourself sidelong? No, nor have I. And that means I have less idea in my mind of what I am than I do of you, or that glass. What to do? Any ideas? I have it! Yes! I have it! Yes, I know what it is. I have an idea. Do you remember back with those rhinoceros, how easy it was to form a union of the mind, of the ideas that we had, how quick, how easy, how ready we ran ideas together, separate impressions, we created a single idea. Do we not do that all the time? Do we not all the time take totally different impressions and clobble them together, create daft imaginings whatever way we like? Well, maybe our name for personal identity is no more than this, the name for the madness that is doing that. The easy unity of mind we so readily form and then claim for ourselves. But if that is so, it is the worst of all idlenesses, for it disguises a higher truth I have traced throughout this book. Those 3 great principles of habit that I have said actually unite impression in our mind. These are the truth, and personal identity a mere illusion and name. Yes, this seems more certain. And if that is true, we need to make some more distinctions. For it seems to me, of my three great principles, the first, contiguity, is of no consequence, for no man can step beyond himself. But if I take the second, resemblance, this is critical. For we can easily see in our minds that all our perceptions resemble each other. Well, they're all perceptions, aren't they? And so we immediately start to contain, to create a container in our thought, a single idea to contain them. And we start to say, there must be something here, I must resemble myself. And so I am there in front of me. And even more important, I think, is the idea of cause and effect that I have traced so carefully. Oh, you remember the one. The learning, the quick association that binds past the future, that through experience will allow us to infer what will be from what currently is. And so our mind gets populated with endless little loops of time. At any one time we have a tumult, a score upon score of favoured little loops of time. And then of course we start to wonder, what is it during? What is it? What is the truth? What is there through these little loops of time? And myself is born, and then the passions start to rage as they get interested in this idea. And here I am. But I think in this, I have no more identity than the single word Rome. For no doubt, Rome describes the eternal city, but think what changes have been wrought over the last 2,000 years or more. Not a single stone remains of those mud huts that Romulus did build, and everything has changed. The constitution is not the same. It's been a monarchy, a republic, an empire, an anarchy, and now a papacy. And not even the people have remained the same. And are we so different? All those little loops, those little causes of the mind, they are not constant, but rather in slow flux. My concerns now are not my concerns a decade ago, and not my concerns in the world to come. Here then, we have the secret of our identity. It is merely a proper name, a thing I call myself, to name the flux of causation. And so we can answer that celebrated author who says, my personal identity is my mere memory. Well, we can say it is based on memory, but it is more than that. For we learn from this habit of the mind to infer our existence across time. For is it not true that we say we are, even if we have no memory? For who remembers everything that happened yesterday, or last week, or a decade ago? But you would still say you were. And so we have it. Personal identity is a mere empty abstraction, and nothing on the wind. What nonsense is this? I'm off to the bar. This is stupid stuff, this philosophy. Anybody got some tobacco? I fancy a fag. Oh, I'll challenge you to backgammon if you like. And so leave my closet and give up this thought, and laugh at it with my friends. I go on long walks. But always there is that nagging doubt that I must return to my philosophical closet and think afresh and work out what passions have made me rage, my passions to be myself, independent from the idea.